person?
Yeah.
Looks like a robot.
No, that is a person.
Well, I think he's making himself incapable of talking.
Yeah, I guess.
That little face mask he has.
We can go try.
Fossil fuels.
Let's go try to talk to him.
Alright, let's go. So are you allowed to talk? So I love fossil fuels. So actually if it weren't for fossil fuels, billions of people today would not be alive. Because without oil-based and natural gas-based agriculture, we wouldn't have had the modern agricultural revolution and billions of people today would be dead. So your costume is a bit misleading because it's actually fossil fuels that have kept people relatively healthy. So while they have certain problems associated with them, they keep you alive. I can't understand sign language. I didn't go to mime school. But seriously, you're taking a pretty bad stand here, because what you're opposing is the fuels that we know are necessary to feed the world, and there's no known substitute for those fuels. So it's a really dangerous sort of position to take. So you should probably become familiar with that literature before standing up in a costume and trying to get people to oppose vital fuels.
Sir, what's your response to that, please?
Well, I listen to the scientists, which are saying that we're in a lot of trouble in terms of the climate, with the rising heat in the climate, the carbon in the air. And have you heard of James Hansen?
I have.
James Hansen.
I have, yes.
And his studies, you know.
Yes, I have heard of his studies.
Eminent study. Anyway, I was at a recent lecture of him, and it's exponentially just going up. If you look at the charts, it's just the heat, the changes in our planet, the condition for us to live on is changing rapidly, and we've got to take notice. That's what
I have a question.
This is why I do this. To wake people up to this.
I understand.
And species are dying. We are losing exponentially and the diversity of this world.
So let's just
every day, and that is being documented by scientists. I'd rather listen to that than people who come up with theories, because at the moment that is the real fact. You go by the scientific studies, the studies show you we're losing.
Okay, so my friend here who's videotaping you is actually a physicist, but I just want to focus on one species, so that's human beings.
Yes.
So you say that global warming is a really serious problem, right?
Well, Dr. James Hansen.
Okay, no, I understand Dr. James Hansen,
right?
I've read him.
And
there are other, okay, but
and there's others.
I just have a question.
In fact, all the scientific community in general agree that there's a problem.
Okay, I think that's an exaggeration, but let me just ask one question.
And the pollution. What about the pollution?
Do you know what do you know what's happened to climate-related deaths in the last 80 years as the temperature has gone up?
What do you mean?
Well, you say you're very concerned about humans and how the climate is impacting
Not about humans. Humans are just one of many species on this planet. We talk about humans, but in actual fact, we are part of an ecosystem that's made up of all kinds of species. So we just got to get off the track of saying that the humans are in danger. Everything is in danger.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that fossil fuels have provably benefited humans, and that seems to be uninteresting to you. And what I'm saying is, if we follow your policy, billions of humans will die, and you seem to be saying you don't care because a bunch of ants will be better off.
I'm not saying that. I never said that at all.
But what I said is, so climate-related deaths in the last 80 years have fallen by about 98%. And the reason is because the more energy human beings can produce, the more they can adapt to the climate.
Hey, when we talk about energy, it's a bit skewy, because energy is nature is produced energy. Humans are creating energy of a different type, which is used to make products, which is meant to create an artificial world of a whole lot of things that block out the natural world.
But you know, that artificial
we live in a natural world.
That artificial world. Okay, so
we are
in the natural world,
mammals. Actually, we are actually mammals. We are not super beings. We are mammals.
Okay.
And you remember, mammals are the mammalian population is just one of many.
Right. But to me, the human beings are the really important one.
They're not.
And artificial
We think they're important. We can go.
I know they're important.
It's important to me because I am a human, right?
Well, it doesn't seem important enough. That's my
But
problem.
if I look at the world there, I mean, all the other species that are dying because of us.
Okay, so you're so just in terms of the artificial environment, that has lengthened human life by 50 years, from 30 to 80. So
Really?
Yes, really.
That is not true.
Really?
That is
if
your,
you go around
your
this,
hypothesis.
No,
It's your hypothesis.
So if I may be presumptuous, you're over 30 years old.
Fair enough,
You
you
would
can-
likely be dead in
Alright.
most societies throughout
You
history.
can keep those ideas, but I don't buy into them.